Have you ever wanted to watch Squid Game but with dinosaurs? Well, look no further because the Jurassic Games is exactly that. Welcome to the second episode of the Jurassic Exploitation. If you've missed the last episode, don't worry. In this series I'll be watching and rating all of the bad Jurassic Park ripoffs and bad dinosaur movies. Today we'll be dissecting the Jurassic Games to see if it's any good or if it's absolute garbage. The Jurassic Games is one of those movies that isn't even that bad, but it's also not great. It was really fun to watch though, so it's already on top of the scoreboard here. It's directed by Ryan Belgard, who also directed the new Jurassic Games movie, which I actually don't have on my bad dinosaur movie list. He also did the visual effects in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 and Bambi, The Reckoning. Both of them I have not seen, but I just thought that was pretty funny. Honestly, this one actually tries to do something fun. The actors are not really half-assing it, except for the host, the evil CEO and the main antagonist. They kinda fell flat. The other actors are honestly not bad. Yeah, sure, it's just another Jurassic Park ripoff, but still, the acting is not that bad. Or it could just be the fact that I have gone completely quality blind. The CGI is pretty bad sometimes, but it's a low budget movie, so it makes sense. One thing that I will credit them for is the cool dinosaur design. The raptor design was honestly pretty cool, along with their sound design. The T-Rex was also pretty good. The whole premise of this movie is basically the Hunger Games combined with Ready Player One combined with Squid Game, before Squid Game even existed. This one was a surprisingly fun watch. It's really short but also really entertaining. Let's do a rundown of this movie because it's actually not that bad.
Played these games before! I said I played these games before!
The movie begins right away with an intro to the Jurassic Games. It is kind of an exposition dump, but it works within the context of the movie. It's just telling us the gist of the whole Jurassic Games and also introduces us to the main character, followed by a title card. The whole game is basically the Hunger Games combined with Squid Game combined with Ready Player One. I already said this, but they play this virtual game show, but if they die in game, they die in real life. The reason why this is allowed within the movie universe is because all of the contestants are death row inmates. So whether they die in game or not, they would have been executed anyway, which puts it in this grey area in morality. The game show host explains how the game works and it just begins. The host is played by Ryan Merriman. He's the biggest name on the casting list, having played in Final Destination 3, The Ring 2, Halloween Resurrection, a TV show called The Pretender, and many more. The T-Rex immediately eats one guy, so it was already off to a good start. They also added this classic scream, but I don't fully know where it's from. Then the cannibal takes a nibble out of this guy, just for the love of the game. The cannibal is played by Luke Wyckoff, who hasn't really played in any big productions. The guy that got nibbled on is played by Gary Frazier, I think. I couldn't find much information about him, but I think he's played by him, I just don't know for sure. They then introduced the guy who got eaten by the T-Rex earlier. Turns out he bombed the school. Also just for the love of the game, I guess. They introduced a few characters like this in the movie, which I thought was pretty neat. Then our main character saves this girl from the guy who got nibbled on. She then kills this guy with a rock. She doesn't like the protagonist though, so she tries to hang him. Asian hero Whistleblower then comes to the rescue and saves our innocent protagonist from choking to death. The Asian guy was my favorite character. He just seems like a chill guy. He is played by Tiger Shu. I'm not kidding, that is his real name. He also looks like The Rock if he was Asian. He is what you would look like if you were black or Chinese. He's actually a pretty cool dude. Apparently he's very passionate about martial arts and he has won some awards as a stunt double. He has also appeared in Rebel Moon. I don't know exactly where he is in that movie, but it's still pretty cool. Our main character is played by Adam Hampton, who is a writer and an actor. I don't know if his character is a self-insert, but he did help write this movie, so it probably is. He's also won a bunch of awards. Our main antagonist, Joy, is played by Katie Burgess. She doesn't really have any big roles as far as I can see, but she isn't too bad in this movie. Not really too good either, but she actually makes a return in the sequel for some reason. We then get introduced to this ragtag duo, Big Brother and Little Brother. I'm not kidding, those are the actual names of these characters. They have a little dispute with a character called The Wasp. I couldn't find any information about him on IMDb, but I could for Big Brother and Little Brother. Big Brother is played by Rhett Terrell and Little Brother is played by Kyle Pennington, who is unironically funny in this movie.
I'm the wasp! I got a big stinger on my butt, and when I sting you, I'm gonna die.
I think it's a B, man.
Shut up!
They all team up with the premise of the Wasp saving their mother from cancer when they get out of the game. Turns out, their mother was already dead.
Okay, fine! Fine!
We then see a new character in the movie. She is played by Kate Jones, who has also won quite a few awards. She also kinda looks like Sydney Sweeney in this photo. She meets the cannibal, who is really weird and creepy, but then a portal appears and they go to round 2. We get to see some footage of the origins of the Asian guy. It turns out that he was a whistleblower and tried to expose the truth about the Chinese government. So he's not actually a bad guy, but because everyone is corrupt in this movie, they withhold this information from the public and give him a death sentence. Next up, round 2. The maze. Here all of the characters have to escape a virtual maze to free themselves from their chains, and then escape the real maze. The first one to escape the virtual maze also gets a gun to blast some raptors. The cannibal was the first one to escape and he grabs the gun. He then goes full monkey mode and blasts a few shots, one of them breaking the Asian guy's iPad, so no more Cocomelon for him. Tucker then bonks him on the head and grabs the gun. Everyone escapes the virtual maze and makes a run for it, because the dinosaurs have spawned in. The Asian guy is unable to escape the maze because his screen is broken. Tucker then shoots his chains in order to free him. They team up again and try to get through the maze together. They lose each other in the maze and the Asian guy finds his way back to the start. He gets surrounded by raptors and tries to fight them off. I honestly thought that he would make it, but he just gets jumped by the raptors after like a minute-long battle. The raptors are now fully locked in and chase all of the characters. Tucker, who has the gun, blasts a few of the raptors and then they all escape through the vent into the third stage of the game, the minefield. Here the participants can get some useful supplies if they are the first one to make it through the minefield. The wasp gets killed by a plant out of nowhere, which upsets the big brother. They then have to make their way through the minefield, but big brother is all like, I don't want to play with you anymore. So he just stands outside of the safe zone until his head blows off. This upsets little brother, of course. He then gets picked up by a pteranodon, which are actually called pterodactyls in this movie, which always gives me the heebie-jeebies. He gets dropped on a mine and explodes into pieces, which was pretty funny. The people who made it through the minefield are rewarded with ammo and a knife. They then just wander around and do nothing. The cannibal guy takes another nibble, this time out of Sydney Sweeney. I mean, come on, who wouldn't? Am I right? Tucker then interrupts his dinner, but gets stabbed by him in return. They have a whole chase sequence, which ends with them fighting on top of a cliff, Red Dead Redemption 2 style. The gun falls down, after which the cannibal slowly descends to get the gun. But after he tries to get back up, he gets eaten by bugs. Sydney Sweeney then makes her way over to our antagonist, Joy, who has just been chilling at the top of this cliff the whole time. She kicks Sydney Sweeney over the ledge and a saber-toothed tiger eats her remains. Now it's just Joy and Tucker left, and it's time for stage 4, where they are chained in the desert. Their keys are somewhere buried in the sand. The first one to find the key and escape the circle of death wins. Tucker starts searching frantically, but gets interrupted by Joy. Here she has this whole Lex Luthor monologue about how she despises him and all of the attention that he gets from the media. She then explains that she is the one who killed his wife. Tucker had been innocent from the beginning, which we already knew, but still, it's a pretty good plot twist. Then a T-Rex gets summoned, who focuses on Tucker, which enables Joy to escape. The game host then summons 2 other T-Rexes to block her path. The T-Rexes fight amongst themselves, which was pretty funny. One of the T-Rexes lands on her chains, which enables Tucker to escape. They both sprint to the end of the death circle and Tucker wins it by a hair. Then the revolution begins, as one of their presenters, Laura, goes on a killing spree and puts the game show host inside of the simulation. We then get a pretty funny moment where one of the IT guys says, "You're not going to shoot me," and then immediately gets shot.
You're not gonna shoot me.
She then has a whole monologue about how the games are inhumane, etc, etc, etc. The host gets eaten by a T-Rex and then a slow motion shootout happens. Tucker gets shot and all of the protesters die, including Laura. We then skip ahead in time where Tucker is at home with his kids, watching the news on the television. The presenters then announce the new season of the Jurassic games and play a little teaser at the end, which has cyborg dinosaurs with guns, and then the credits roll.
카메라를 달아보세요. 스마일.
That is about the whole movie, and it's not even that bad. The whole premise is pretty good, and the execution is also not too bad. It is by no means a good movie, but it's still an entertaining watch. I was actually pleasantly surprised by this movie because I ended up getting pretty invested. This one gets like a solid 8 or a 9, according to the ranking of this series. If you are new, the ranking is purely based on entertainment and nothing else. If we're actually being serious with the ranking, it gets like a 4 or 5. Still, it's an entertaining movie and I'll actually put it in S tier. As far as bad dinosaur movies go, this is one of the best and most entertaining ones out there. If they would have had a bigger budget, some better writing and a longer runtime, this would already be miles better than Jurassic World Dominion and maybe even Rebirth. And that's the thing with some of these movies, because some of them actually have an interesting premise, it's just that the execution leaves a lot to be desired. You'll also see that in my next video, where I'll be covering Jurassic City, which has a pretty interesting premise. It's just ruined by bad decisions, unnecessary scenes, bad digital effects, and as always, the misidentification of dinosaurs. But again, even Jurassic World is guilty of this, calling Quetzalcoatlus and Mosasaurus dinosaurs. Just let the writers go, bro. The Jurassic games is an example that not all Jurassic Park ripoffs or bad dinosaur movies are actually bad. It's not a matter of entertainment or having an interesting premise, but more a matter of bad execution and low budgets that make these movies bad. It's movies like this that the Jurassic franchise can actually learn something from, creating an interesting premise without it having to play out on an island or having boring bland caricatures that we're supposed to care about. The Jurassic games is an entertaining movie and maybe something that is worth checking out yourself. You can buy it or rent it on Amazon, I think it's like €4 or something. Anyways, it is something that could be worth watching. €4 is a bit of a steep price, especially for a movie that is 80 minutes long. But if you're really into dinosaurs or just enjoy low budget movies, the Jurassic games is something worth checking out. Anyways, that has been my review of the Jurassic games. Next video, I'll be going to Los Angeles and I'll cover the 2015 movie Jurassic City. That's all for today. If you have any suggestions for bad dinosaur movies, you could leave them in the comments and maybe they'll be covered in a future episode of the Jurassic Exploitation. Goodbye.